shaved the rest off. Left the mustache, but yeah,
Right.
I didn't get any of that reward. But anyway,
we
this
haven't
started
ran.
yet?
No, not yet.
Has
This will
it?
probably go in at the beginning. We have a little cold opening, which will be
I
beautiful.
listened to I listened to a chunk of last week's episode. You do long podcasts, but
Yeah, fucking long.
I listened to you in the bath just before.
Oh, lovely.
It was a lovely time. Had a beer, listening to you guys chatting about testicles. Good fun.
Nice. 4D.
Very true, very true. By the way, this is MJ and Stewart for your purposes.
MJ and Stewart. You combined, you make my initials are MJ Stewart, so that works out well.
Oh yeah, nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
that,
What does it all mean?
and with that bombshell, let's do a podcast. Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is for you, and welcome to another episode of the non-award nominated FRUK Unwrapped, a poddy about unwrapped food. Other than the sausage party of hosts, today's show is a meat-free zone as we are going vegetarian. But first, I once offered this guy my collection of encyclopedias, and he said he'd give me a root vegetable in return. I thought, blimey, that's a turnip for the books. It's Stewart, but look. It's a turnip.
Yeah.
It's a turnip for the books.
Oh,
Yeah, we heard it the first time actually.
Yeah, is that from the compendium of big bad dad jokes? That is awful.
All written myself, that one. I'm sure someone else out there's done it before, but that came straight from the old NJ noggin.
Are you being truthful? Because your face is blushing. You've gone kind of radish.
Don't ruin other things I might have written. How are you, Stuart?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Okay.
For the listeners, we're recording at the opposite end of the day to where we usually do, to accommodate Australians and Australian. And I did not sleep well because my son, who is too large to be still doing this, got into my bed at about midnight last night and stopped me having a good night's sleep.
Oh.
So I'm tired. But
How was his 16th birthday anyway?
I am genuinely worried that it's still going to be happening by then. Like, I didn't think it'd still be happening by 8, but it is. So you got all this to look forward to, Nathan.
Well, what with Theo?
Yeah.
Very, very odd. Anyway, the next hosts and I had a stall at a local fair selling our fungi. When I arrived, he had set up already and already covered most of the table. I said, "You've not left me mushroom." Yep, left mushroom. It's Michael Jamieson.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah.
Good joke. Obviously mushroom based, so I understand it. Yeah.
The classic mushrooms and muchroom puns.
Yeah, it was right on the button.
Yep.
Oh, that old chestnut.
Yeah.
Oh, the flat out refused to do anymore.
Good.
That last one was awful, Michael. Oh.
How are you, Michael? Have you got any small children climbing into your bed in the middle of the night?
No, just docks, which is weird, but they're very, very small. Porcina.
Awful.
No, they don't. No children in here. I don't let them in.
Let's move on to someone who's clearly funnier than all of us. And finally, our guest is a man who I've been harassing online and in person for 18 months. He is an Australian comedian and podcaster, arguably best known for his work on the Do Go On podcast and its spin-off Prime Mates. I'm going to be fangirling a lot tonight, and I hope I don't get carried away. Please welcome Matt Stewart.
Thanks, Nate. Jeez, you saved the best one for me, and I really do appreciate that. I forget how much higher puns are exalted in England. You love them over there. It's fun.
This episode is.
I don't fully
fun.
understand what they are, but I love seeing some masters at work, and you are truly a master of the pun, Nate.
Thank you, Matt. I definitely don't think that's true, but thank you very much for lying to my face. yeah, this episode is going to be heavy on puns because that's all I've got when it comes to comedy. You're obviously the pun king, as we know. But anyway,
Yeah, well,
thank,
sure.
yeah, thank you for joining us. It's very kind of you. As I say, I have been harassing you somewhat for the last 18 months or so, so it's good to finally get you on. You
It
can,
hasn't felt like harassing, but I'm glad that I'm here finally. I didn't realize it's been 18 months. How time flies when you're
Yep.
being harassed. It's yeah. But we've met a few times over in London town.
we've bumped into a couple of times, and they say don't meet your heroes, but I thought you dealt with it quite well.
You probably didn't notice, but I was absolutely sweating. But we got through it without me putting my foot in my mouth too badly, so that was good. So what have I've made you get up early, have I, Stuart? What time is it over there?
It's not it's 8:15 in the morning. It's not especially early. I would have been up at this.
That is early, Stuart. I apologise. I had no idea that's what I was doing to you. That's wicked. I woke up at midday today, our time. So yeah, I do apologise. But don't you think it was all worth it as soon as Nate dropped some of those great jokes on you at the start? All of a sudden, it's like, oh, actually, yeah, I'm glad to be up and about. Here we go. Attack the day.
Honestly, I could die and I'd be happy now after that.
I think I'd be happy too.
What if MJ died? No,
if MJ died?
That's too dark, too early. We've lost listeners. Matt, first question for you. How are you coping with what I'm entitling Lockdown Mania 2020?
Geez, it's been weird. It just feels like how it is now. It was, pretty full on early, and it obviously still is, but your brain adjusts and it, just getting used to not really going out at all, apart from the weekly trip to the supermarket or whatever. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be now. It's going to be weird going back to the normal world because in Australia we're starting to ease on the restrictions. I don't know where. I don't think you're not quite there yet, are you?
No. There's some easement, but
depends who you ask.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it is. It's going to be strange going back. Like schools are going back, and they're allowing pubs are going to slowly open. Not in Victoria where I live. Pubs are still not opening, but in other states they are. But those states aren't letting us to cross the border. So I'm trapped in a public state for a little bit longer. That's all right. I've been the local bottle shop's been looking after me. So yeah, what was the question? Sidetrack there.
No. It's all sort of food related. It's all good. As I mentioned,
the first thing we started. Oh, geez, the satellite delay is going to mean that I keep talking over you like an absolute asshole. I apologise for that.
No, Matt. Please go ahead. Go
but I just remember. I think the first time I remember conversing with you online is we had a pretty long conversation on and off, long conversation about Bundaberg ginger beer. Remember that?
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, yeah. I can't remember how it started, but I think I must have somehow tweeted you about them or seen you tweet about them, and I think you tried a few flavors like on and off over a few weeks or something like that. You found some random ones.
Yeah, once you mentioned it, I was noticing there were different ones everywhere. So it's a big Queensland soft drink company, Bundaberg, make ginger beer. But then I found a passion fruit one which was really nice, and there's like an old school lemonade. What else was there? They did a Christmas one year which I didn't love, like a spice something or other. But there's options.
Good.
And I think you don't really have them over there, do you?
We've got one or two. I think the ginger beer or ginger ale one is here, and I've seen peach and pink grapefruit.
We get the root beer as well.
Yeah, the root. I believe the root beer is the one that's actually properly stocked, like as a normal drink, rather than like an import. I think.
Right.
Or at least there's a proper distribution for it because it's available in Tesco at a normal price, basically.
Honestly, I've come to the right place asking questions about these sort of things. I did not know I'd get such an extensive answer. That's fantastic.
There you go. You learn something. You live and learn.
Have any of you been to Australia?
Nope. No. one of my best friends lives there, so it's on the radar for at some point. But no, never been. It's a long old journey, Matt, as you know, having been over it a few times.
Yeah, I think I've done the Melbourne to London flight there and back 4 times now.
Wow.
And the first time I did it, it was brutal because it was, I always fly the cheapest flights I can get, but the cheap flights when I first flew 15 years ago, or whatever it was, that was, there were no TVs in the back of the seats.
What?
So it was really, you're just looking at the chair in front of you for 24 hours. That was pretty rough.
Jesus Christ.
And, smartphones weren't around in 2006 and stuff like that. So that was brutal. But since then, like going over last year, I'm like, how easy is this? I'm just watching movies. People are bringing food to me. I'd do it every day.
The stopover is indirect.
Yeah, the stopover, you want to get a pretty short stopover. That can stuff you up as well. But yeah, all right, the stopover, we were, the last flight, when we came over in December, we had to run to get our stopover. So it was so quick.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't cut it that fine, to be honest. But yeah, but you don't want to be some people do it and they're sitting in Singapore for 10 hours or something. That's no good.
No,
this is what this show's about, right? It's about flights.
Yeah, that's what the F in FRUK stands for. I don't think I've ever called us FRUK. That's weird. As I mentioned in your intro there, Matt, you are world famous for your podcasting. For anyone who hasn't listened to your podcast, how would you describe Do Go On? And I know that this is a weekly battle for you describing it on your own show, but how would you describe it to try and get somebody to come and listen?
I think it's kind of I don't know why it is so hard. It feels like it should be easy, but it's a show that I hosted with 2 other comedians, and we take it in turns to research a topic, and that topic can be anything. It's usually like a historical event or a biography or a celebrity's biography, or, it could be anything basically. And then we take it back, we record the podcast, but it's a written report, normally goes for we've sort of done pretty much any topic you could think of. We've done a version of it, like Dolly Parton to Bigfoot to the Hindenburg disaster. And I don't know, does that sound like a wide range?
I think they're the 3. I think they're the 3 things you have to hit.
Yeah. And then basically the other 2 people don't know what it's going to be about, and then they interrupt and sidetrack it and stuff, which ideally makes it fun and funnier. But some people find that makes it tedious. But just get on with the story is a comment we often get. But I guess, is that, how'd I go, Nate? You've heard it. Is that kind of it?
No, I've not listened before. No, I was just I
haven't listened. Because the T-shirt you're wearing is Do Go On merchandise. I just thought you might have heard it at some point. But
no, and I've been to 2 live shows, and I just
picked that up at an op shop or something.
Yeah. Just found it just laying around in the gutter. I think you hear that. It's a very amusing podcast. It's one of my favourites, quite candidly, which is why I've been trying to get you on here. Probably easier to describe Primates, which is obviously coming to a hiatus, but obviously a much more bizarre podcast. Which, a podcast.
It's about primates and popular culture. That's the easiest sort of way to break it down. Each week's about a different movie. Most of it's movies or TV shows that featured a primate. But we've also done other ones about just primates in the news or bands like Gorillas. So there's been some pretty tenuous links. Did an episode about a Spider-Man movie because some people thought he was called Night Monkey for a while. Did 2 episodes about Toy Story because there was a barrel of monkeys. So I'm happy to draw a sort of a long bow as well, which also annoys people. It's funny how people on the internet get annoyed.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that, having a podcast?
Famed. No,
Have you
no one
done any
listens.
episodes where people are like, this isn't food at all? Has anyone done-
Not. I would imagine we get a lot more of that on the YouTube side of things.
Right.
Because we're called Food Review UK, the amount of people that get upset when we review foods that aren't available in the UK, even though you can probably find them somewhere and it's helping someone decide what to eat in another country.
Yes, I mean, also almost all of them are available in the UK because I live in the UK and I have them. So apart from the ones where it's like fast food and whatever, like, well,
You put a hole through their theories there, but also, I mean, surely the UK part is that the reviews are happening in the UK. Food reviews,
it's
UK.
yeah.
I'm happy to give you a pass on that one.
Thanks,
And I'm
Matt.
normally a pretty angry guy on the internet. So.
Can we have that as a written testimonial we can stick on the channel?
Certainly can. You can write whatever you like. Put my name to it. I'm cool.
You heard it here first. Right, Matt. I'm going to ask you for 3 numbers between 1 and 10, and I'm going to give you a random question associated with that number. So 3 numbers, please.
I love this. I love random numbers. It's between 1 and 10. I mean,
Yeah, so it's not that random.
This is a fun element because you could just ask me 2 questions. And I love how you've sort of jazzed it up a bit with a random number. Like, it genuinely does. Listening to last week's episode, my ears really picked up when you were talking about random numbers. Love it. Anyway, so I made that decision when I was listening. I'm like, geez, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm picking 3 for sure.
Okay, we've got 3.
My first one. And now I'm living that dream. Can I go at number 3, please, Nate?
3. Marry, fuck, kill. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Oh, fantastic question. A beautiful question. Thank you so much for asking. Okay. Well, it's tricky because so you want to kill. So killing one in this case, I guess it means that you're not going to eat it anymore.
Correct.
Yeah, it's gone from your life.
Okay. And then fuck. I guess fucking is something that is really just I mean, in this case, it sounds more like a one-off, whereas the marriage is forever. So, it feels like you're picking your thing you want to live. You can't live without. And for me, that's got to be dinner. I think to marry. I'll kill lunch and I'll fuck the shit out of breakfast. Whoa! I felt instant regret about phrasing it that way. Sorry about that, everybody.
Wait
I like breakfast, but I can
Clearly.
sleep through it, like I did this morning. Whereas dinner's always there. I'm always awake at night time eating that dinner, and I'll do that, till death do us part.
Yeah. Wait until dinner finds out you fucked breakfast.
You won't tell, guys, will you? Please.
I don't think breakfast listens to this dinner listens to this podcast.
Thank God.
2 more numbers, please.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, great. I've got these all ready to go. I'm sorry to the others. Is anyone else getting to pick a number? Because
No,
I'm picking all the best ones. Oh, great.
You.
Okay. Well, the second number's got to be 7. I mean,
7.
Who are we kidding here?
Do you have a sweet or a savoury tooth?
As in, yes, I would say I'm more savoury than sweet. If I'm understanding that. Am I answering that question right?
Yeah. Do you prefer sweet or savoury food? Not do your teeth taste sweet or savoury?
I've got one savoury tooth, but I've actually got multiple sweet teeth. I reckon them all the time. No, I'm more savoury for sure. When I was younger, I think this is probably pretty common, but I was much more of a sweet tooth as a kid, and then but now I'm more excited about the main meal than the dessert, sure. And I would probably rarely have dessert, really.
Mm. What would be your go-to on the savoury side?
I mean, that's such a broad question. Say, what would be my food? So what in terms of a dinner meal or a snack? What are we talking?
Well, just what have you got a weakness on the sea? Like, okay? I'll rephrase the question. What's your favourite savoury food?
Favourite savoury.
That's the
That doesn't help me. But, I would say it's pasta. Does that count? Does that
Yeah.
count as savoury?
For the sake of moving on, it counts.
Until recently, and I'm sort of going back in old habits, I've free pour my pasta, right?
Yeah.
And it is. I recently found out that I have more than double the recommended dosage of pasta for a normal human. I just load it up. I can't. Yeah, no self-control with pasta.
I think that is the recommended dosage, though. I think that's you double what they recommend is the recommended amount.
Okay, great.
It's a weird.
Well,
formula.
I do double and a half.
Oh,
yeah. No, that's fair enough.
I cannot imagine how wet a pasta bake would be if you used the recommended amount of pasta. It'd just be soup.
Yeah.
Couple of shells floating on the top.
Yeah, literally.
Matt, can I have one more number, please?
Oh, one more number. This is where it gets tricky. 3 and 7 are the clear standouts.
Obvious, yeah.
Where do you go from there? I mean, there's number 1. It's an obvious choice. 2 is also one of the greats. I love 5. For midway point 1 and 10. But it got me the snowman. Number 8, please.
Snowman. Oh, I'm not going to ask that one because that is going to take us down a rabbit hole, and you've already struggled with that question. I'm going to go with 1.
I like how
well
you are. I mean, these numbers could not make. You could have 3 questions you want to ask. And go, perfect. But no, I love the honesty there. Well done.
Yeah.
All right, let me go. Can I go with 6 then?
6. Okay. If you were a food,
1/3 of the number of the beast.
Okay. The question I avoided was food heaven and food hell, but clearly asking you what your favourite savoury food was too tough, so I thought I'd niche that one. If you were number 6, if you were a food, what would you be?
An easy question. If I was a food, what would I be? These kind of questions I'm like, I need someone else to answer this. I have no idea. Can you put me what would you say, Nate? Do you have any thoughts? What would you be if you were a food?
What would I be if I was a food?
Yeah.
Listen, this isn't about me, Matt. This is you.
Okay.
I ask the questions. I would probably be a pavlova.
Oh, great. Pavlova. That's arguably an Australian dessert. Yeah.
I'd almost certainly be a black pudding. Delicious, northern. Many people find it unpalatable and very much full of fat.
Wow.
And blood, right?
Oh, blood, yeah. Blood and fat in equal measure, 50-50. That's my genetic makeup.
I'd be a cucumber, but with the hope that I wasn't getting eaten. I wasn't being purchased to be eaten.
Michael! Michael!
What?
Oh, mate!
Oh, that took me a moment. I'm like, yeah, of course. Who wants to be eaten? Oh, I see.
Consumed in other ways. For those at home that aren't listening. Brilliant.
He wants to be licked like an ass. Oh,
that's the one.
I guess. Which what is cucumber mostly made of water, similar to the human makeup, I guess. I'm gonna say, I feel like just because I'm representing Australia on this, I'll have to say something Australian. So maybe I'll say a cheesy mite scroll. I don't know how I back that up, but that's. You familiar with cheesy mite scrolls?
I could take a running guess at what it was.
Yeah, I think I'd take a good guess as well.
Some kind of a bready pastry spiral full of cheese and Vegemite.
That's it. Yeah, they're so good.
So it sounds savoury and delicious.
Yeah, it is. It is savoury and delicious. I don't know how I back that up. I guess I'm pretty cheesy. I've got
a lot of yeast.
Yeast infections. And I'm really swirly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you asked me an easy one. Thanks, Nate.
You're welcome. Well, you struggled with what food.
Because I genuinely don't understand what food heaven or hell means. So.
let's not worry about it. You didn't get asked it. Lovely stuff. Thank you very much for doing the random questions, which were random, apart from that one that we just dodged. Moving on to a little bit of quivia.
Perfect.
Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's quivia time, so play quivia. Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's quivia time, so play quivia. It's like a cross between some trivia and a quiz and a such. It stands apart the two of those two aforementioned words. Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's quivia time, so play quivia. Q-U-I-V-I-A. Yeah, it's quivia time, so play quivia.
Tonight's quivia I've entitled with a pun, as I always do, Tomato on Divine Comedy. Tonight, what I'm going to ask... What? Tomato on Divine.
It took a minute.
And comedy. I've got 6 comedians which I have punned with vegetables.
Excellent.
Oh,
I'm going to give you a clue to the comedian, and you're going to have to guess what their vegetable pun name would be.
We
already
have
know
to
one of them. So
We have to come up with the puns.
Sorry?
We're coming up with the puns here.
No. I've come up with the puns, but if you if you do a better one than I've gone for, which is very very easy, then yeah, I'll give you the point anyway.
I understand.
Okay. There's 6. There's 2 each. So again, we're back to picking numbers, Matt. Random numbers between 1 and 6 this time. So
Yes, I
either
love
the-
this.
Yeah. Maybe you and I could do a random number podcast, or we'll talk about it off there.
Yeah, that'd be great. What would we call it, Nate?
The odd ones, the odd ones out. Or,
oh yeah.
again,
okay.
we'll work it out. We'll spitball it. I'm going to start with you, Matt. Can you give me a number between 1 and 6? Because you love picking numbers.
Well, I mean, can I go back to old favourite number 3?
Oh, of course you may. Cook this bud correctly so it doesn't get hard.
Oh, nice.
Cook this bud correctly.
These
so
are all
it
comedians
doesn't
or
get
comedy actors, I
hard.
should say.
Okay. Cook this bud. What's now you might need to explain to me what a bud is.
So the bud of a bud of a flower, I guess, is that what
Okay, flower bud. Okay, so it's a
So the clue will give you
flower-based pun. What's up with me? I don't understand puns.
So the clues will
okay.
the clues will give you a clue to the comedy actor or comedian and the type of food that they are being punned with. So
Holy moly! So there's a lot going on here. Now give it to me one more time.
cook this bud correctly so it doesn't get hard.
I got you, Nate. I got you.
Is it about the guy? Was it? So they've got a flower in their name. I'm guessing. Is that?
Sort of.
Am I on the right track?
Yeah. Or
Is Get
yeah.
Hard a movie they were? Because I know there was a comedy film called Get Hard, wasn't there?
Yeah.
On the right track.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
I'm trying to remember who was in there. It was Will Ferrell and. Is it Will Ferrell? No.
It's not him in this instance.
No, because that doesn't make sense. Who's the other guy in it? It's I can't
sort of the
remember that
answer.
guy's name. Sorry.
That's
that
part of
on
the
the
answer.
right track?
I can't really tell you that because that sort of gives away half of the answer.
I can't remember who it was.
Oh, I can almost picture him. He's a stand-up, American stand-up. He's short.
Yep.
Oh,
I've got it written down just to confirm.
He
Got
got cancelled from hosting an award ceremony a couple of years ago. I'm blanking on his fucking name. What is his name? But is there something else in there that's a clue to his name, or is it Get Hard as the only bit that's?
Yeah,
a
that's
clue?
that.
Bud.
That was
Has he
that.
got?
No, Bud's the clue.
Well, that's for the vegetable.
Okay,
I think
vegetable
I've got
bud.
it. I think I've got
Is
it.
this a cryptic? Is this like a cryptic
cryptic.
clue?
Sort of cryptic, yeah. I mean, if you want to, you're allowed to pass, Matt.
Can I just say the fact that the other lads are struggling, I am very impressed that I got it immediately.
I'm not struggling, mate. Not struggling at all.
But I got it
Hey,
first.
can I phone a friend?
If you want to.
I'd love to sub MJ in.
Yeah, I believe it's Kevin Artichoke Heart.
That would be correct, yeah. That's
Right,
1 point.
okay.
1 point for Matt.
I reckon if I got Kevin Hart, I probably still wouldn't have got it. So an artichoke's the bud. Yes, I can see that now. Now that I understand the game, I'm half a chance of the next one, maybe. All right, quarter chance.
MJ.
I'll give myself a 10% chance.
So,
It's going
MJ, if you need to sub me in, though, I'm feeling good now.
was your answer Kevin Artichoke Hart, Nate?
No, actually,
Kevin Artichoke.
that makes even make more sense. I've got Kevin Artichoke Hart, as
No,
in
no.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Artichoke is the better pun, surely.
Yeah,
Embarrassment of a man.
yeah.
Is that what you were going for, Stewart?
Kevin Artichoke, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
well.
so I'm going to have to give the points to Stewart. Sorry, MJ.
That's fine, I'm used to it.
Everyone's got a point at this stage. MJ.
Well, 3 is, I would say, the most obvious first pick, so I'll go for 7, please.
Okay.
No, I'll have 4. 4 seems pretty sensible.
4.
I look forward to not getting my own one.
Correct. Actually, not everyone hates this leaf.
So leaf hate, not so like leaf, like lettuce. Not everyone. Actually, oh, okay, so he's in Love Actually.
Actually, not everyone hates this leaf.
So they're definitely in Love Actually. And it's about lettuce or leaf rocket salad. And it's a comedian. Yeah, no idea. Cool, decent. Hugh Grant's not funny. He's quite funny in that film he was in.
He might be don't slag him off.
No, he's nice. He was funny in that recent film, The Gentleman. Yeah, this is a bugger, isn't it? Who else was funny in that film? Nah, good. Nope,
Yeah,
no
who
idea.
else was in it? Alan Rickman was in it.
Tiffany
Tiffany from
McCartney.
EastEnders.
Who's that?
Oh, God,
Yeah,
I just thought
that
that.
older guy, that legendary English actor.
Bill Nye.
Bill Nye, not a comedian, is he? Actor. Looking for a comedian, surely.
Martin Freeman is the only one I can think of, but I don't think
Also not a comedian, actor.
Comedy actor.
Oh,
What, do you know it, Stuart?
no.
Oh. Yeah, I really don't know. Is it? Can you give me a clue? Was I right with Love Actually?
No.
Oh. Is he actually relevant?
No.
Are you serious? The actually isn't part of the clue.
Actually, not everyone hates this leaf.
Not everyone hates this leaf. Nah, I'm gonna have to pass because I don't know.
Anyone?
Nah, mate.
No.
Love. It's like Love Rocket, Love Leaf, Love Iceberg.
Love Rocket.
Chris Rocket. Because of everyone hates. Everyone hates
Oh,
Fucking hell!
mate, come on.
What the hell, man?
Chris.
Didn't
Stewart.
realise we were doing the Times crossword this morning. Right, go on.
I did say
Go on,
Rocket.
come on,
though,
we'll
right?
pick a
I said
number.
Rocket.
Oh,
I said- we heard me say Rocket, right? You heard me say
6.
Rocket, so I sort
Did
of
you say Rocket? Yeah.
6. He's
Fine.
a step.
No, I
he's
said
a step-
2. I said 2.
Oh, you said 2.
I'll
okay.
have 6 though. Soon as
No.
we start.
2. Legendary American stand-up who's probably a bit sour.
good. Luckily, I don't know that.
This is probably the toughest one because I'm not sure how famous this guy actually is outside of America.
A legendary.
But he's legendary.
He's legendary.
American stand-up.
Crosby Plum. Is there a plum called like Crosby?
we're not pro Crosby on this.
What are the classic sour things? So you got grapefruit. That's a fruit, is it? Lemon.
They're all vegetables or
Oh, they're all vegetables. What's a sour vegetable?
Rhubarb. No.
Rhubarb Streisand.
There's a beer called Rhubarb Streisand.
Is that?
Yeah, brew up, make it.
Nice.
I sour.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That's really
Sour.
killing me. You're killing me. Don't know, mate.
Beetroot in vinegar?
Yeah, that famous comedian.
What else is kept in vinegar?
What else is kept in vinegar? Sauerkraut.
Oh, cabbage.
Pickles.
Oh, gherkin.
Gherkin. Dill.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Dill Cosby.
We're not for Cosby.
I don't know, mate. I'm going to pass.
Don Pickles, as in Don Rickles.
Oh,
Pickles.
yeah, vaguely you've heard of it.
Never heard of that man.
Okay, I didn't think you had.
He's in Toy Story. He's the the Mr. Potato Head or something. I think.
That's probably why I've heard of him.
And if you like
He's
Toy
the
Story,
king
then
of
you can
Sting.
listen. You can listen to Primates Now, who cover Toy Story.
Yeah, very, very important
Pleasure.
piece of work that was.
Yeah. Back to you then, Matt. You can have 1
Has anyone ever got any of these right?
or 6. I don't know. This is the first time they're being asked. 1, 5, or 6.
1, 5, or 6. Sorry, I just froze up for a second there. 1, 5, or 6. Could I go with number 1? Because I know that you would have started your list with one of the best ones. So let's go with number 1. This is going to be. I know this is going to be this will be the best one you've got. So I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be a killer. Let's see.
Jokes
go.
on you. I start my quizzes at number 6. Number 1. Comedian with his own funny mode of transport who sounds like he might be wet.
Sounds like he might be wet. Well, I thought you were going to give me a bit of a challenge. Comedian. Can I have a clue about the comedian? Is he
British comedian.
British comedian?
I'm fairly certain you
Right.
know him. I'm sure you've mentioned him before in one of the shows because I'm a weirdo that remembers stuff like that.
His own
Okay.
bloody mode of transport.
Sounds like a mode of transport.
I might just skip to the tie break if I'm honest at the moment for our first ever 0. Our first ever 0, 0,
MJ
0.
kind of
I thought Matt got one, right?
Well,
took one for the
I might end up.
oh,
If no one gets
what
one,
is it?
then I
I'm
might-
trying to think. So James A. Caster, maybe. James. He sort of sounds like Car in there. Maybe is it him?
No, I'm afraid it's not James.
But he doesn't sound like he might be wet. It's one of the weirder clues I've ever heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sound like that
the-
might be.
The answer on that one was Stewart Leak,
Oh,
comedy
Yes,
vehicle.
Oh,
That is,
I saw him when I saw his show when I was in London last year. So good.
oh, he's one of my favourite. He might be my favourite
I
comedian,
should-
actually.
Shook his hand after the show. I was wearing a Cold Chisel T-shirt. It was an Australian band, and he goes, "Oh, that's Don Walker's band, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yes, it is." And we talked about Don Walker for about a minute. It was real cool.
Oh, that's wicked.
Nice.
Should have known him then, really.
Well, I don't know. He doesn't. So, Stuart, what? Tell me
Leak.
what can you leak?
Leak.
Right, leak might be wet. Man, I'm not saying these are bad, but these are brutally hard.
Because it also isn't a leak, but categorically guaranteed to be wet. Like, there's no might.
Well, he might have leaked onto something else, so
That's
something
fine.
else might. Have.
That's
Um,
But
em-
yes, so the leak used to. Oh, that's true. The leak is the hole, right?
yeah.
So if something sprung a leak, once all the water's gone out, it's not necessarily still wet. So Nate, I'm gonna have to give
Yeah,
you the
good
point there.
I'm currently winning my own quiz. MJ, 5 or 6?
5 seems like logical next step.
Okay. I wish I was as cool as this American stand-up.
Oh, okay. So it's obviously Cucumber. So Cumber, Benedict Cucumberbatch. No, he's British and not a comedian.
This is
So-
probably the worst pun of the lot as well. So
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is he on the right
Oh!
track though, Nate? Is it?
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, you're right with cucumber.
Cucumber. Is it like it's something like Benumber, Bember, Cucumber.
No.
Oh,
You're
Bilber,
so-
Cucumbilber.
Yeah, there we go.
Is that it?
Yeah. Well, I've got Q Bilber, but I'll accept Cucumber.
Cucumber.
You
That's
also
good. I think he's punched it up a little there, Nate. Cucumber. What is this?
I mean, to ask to specifically get the exact breakdown of the pun as well would be impossible.
So that leaves you, Stewart, with number 6.
Can't wait.
Probably the easiest one. He's a stepbrother with a niece.
So it's
Oh,
gonna be,
brilliant! I've got it.
what with a niece.
A niece.
He's a
A niece.
stepbrother with a niece.
With a niece.
A niece.
So it's
Oh, I
either
think I've got it. I think I've got one.
Oh.
with a
Oh,
niece.
that's the easiest one. Come on, chill out. There's 2. Like, this is the most famous film out of everything
It's the
mentioned.
most famous film. So it's either Will Ferrell or John C. Reilly. But I'm not getting where the vegetable reference is.
Oh yeah, because there's so many vegetables that taste like a niece. Dickhead.
Oh, what's it called? Well, it's Will Fennell.
There we go. Will Ferrell. Was that what you was thinking, Matt, or was yours a John C.
Nailed
Reilly?
it. I was thinking, yeah, the correct answer, 100%. You do not want to know what I was thinking. I thought I was thinking it was going to be, which doesn't even work or make sense. But I thought it was. I wish I had early morning as an excuse, but it is at a perfectly reasonable hour over here. I was thinking it was John, a niece. John Star and niece C. Riley.
That's probably acceptable, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I've misunderstood every element of the game with that answer, but still.
I'm just going to call that a draw. I'm not even going to do a tiebreak. You'll win in this scenario because it was. I did warn you guys earlier in the week, or certainly MJ and Stewart, that this was the worst one I'd ever done for many reasons.
No, it was brilliant.
And yeah, I'll be disappointed if that makes it into the Do Go On show, Matt. Please don't steal my ideas.
All right, yeah. Well, I guess it's on the record now, but otherwise it would be stolen. Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, never. I would never just quietly tell me that as an idea, off a podcast, because it would be mine then. I'm ruthless like that.
Especially with such a cracking idea as this one.
You're listening to FRUK Unwrapped. Please support us on Patreon so we can continue to make amazing content, including a recent video where we reviewed a £6 tub of ice cream. £6 Has he lost the plot? And our recent £30 room service breakfast. This guy's a fucking idiot.
Thank you very much for playing. Let's move on to the main subject of tonight, which Matt will appreciate this, I'm entitling Getting Veggie with the Boys.
I love it.
Like Fruity with the Boys, but veggie. Tonight's show is all about vegetarianism, vegetables, the non-meat that we eat.
So on that note, I will see you guys later. I don't think I have anything that I could possibly add to this. So have a good day. Cheers.
Damn, Jay, nice meeting you.
Good bit.
Yeah.
I like that he tapped out after the shit show of Quivia. He stuck around. Oh, terrible. Matt, I'm gonna ask you this first. Why are you a vegetarian?
It's a good question. I think it's been a while. I was a teenager when I stopped eating meat, and I think it started as a joke, is how I remember it.
It's a good one.
Thank you so much.
What was the punchline?
Well, it was a throw. I said a throwaway thing. Went and saw the film Babe with my family, which is an Australian film about a pig.
Mm-hmm.
Was that big overseas? I can't remember.
Yeah. Huge.
It on the way home, I said, "Well, I'm never eating pig again," or something like that. And then I just for some reason stuck to that.
Right.
Even though pork was my favorite food at the time.
Oh.
And then I did some reading about it, and I just thought, oh, this is kind of seems like a positive thing. I'd never really heard of vegetarian. I grew up in the country and in the suburbs, and I didn't know vegetarian. Then my cousin became vegetarian, and I'm like, oh, I'd never even heard of it as an idea. And he's not a vegetarian anymore, but but he was kind of the one who inspired. You know, like a lot of things, you don't know it's possible until someone who's done it. And then I just did some reading about it and stuff, and it's like, oh, it seems like it's pretty healthy. And even though my parents and doctors and stuff are like, oh, you really need to eat meat. So which is funny looking back at. This is like the late 90s, I guess. I don't think doctors would say that to you anymore. And yeah, I don't know. Animals don't have to die as much. Just
and that's
a bit of a plus.
You think that's a good thing?
Well, I guess it really depends on your point of view.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of killing animals necessarily, but I don't mean to get preachy. You know, hey, you do you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess that's why. What a tedious. Babe was the trigger, and then it was in year 11. I had to do an oral presentation for English class. We have a class named after your country, which is pretty cool. And we had to do it about an issue, and that was just front of mind. So I had to research about it, and then I've sort of been in properly ever since. It was sort of a bit of a joke until then, and then I've been all the way in since then, I guess. Apart from a few accidental lapses where, the country, language barriers and stuff, where I'd accidentally ordered meat or whatever, and felt a real burst of energy and protein, and then I realised what I'd done.
How hardline are you? I mean, do you have leather products, for example, or do you avoid that?
I don't know if I've got any leather. It's not that. I mean, it's funny because like that's when I'm not vegan. I do have. I'll eat dairy cheese.
Yeah.
And I'll have eggs and stuff. So yeah, I definitely appreciate the work of the vegans. They're doing it properly. They're the ones who won't be using leather and that sort of stuff. If I have a choice, I normally have oat milk on my cereal and stuff like that instead of dairy. But yeah, for some reason the soy cheese I've had have been pretty gross. But I mean, it's just me being lazy, not going the extra mile, I guess. I don't know. Is this what I'm here to be grilled for, Nate?
Yeah, this was organised by your family. We wanted to find out, what they can do to get you back on the side of meat. Yeah.
And your doctor.
They've sort of my parents they've come to accept it all since. But yeah, at the time, because I was still living at home, my dad who used to cook the meals for the family, he's like, well, I'm not cooking a second meal, so you're making your own dinner from now on, and that sort of stuff. But I did the first time I told him he made me eat spaghetti bolognese that night, and I'm weeping. I don't want to eat the meat. Hey, I made you this dinner. You eat the dinner. I don't want to eat it. That's a pretty wild memory.
Oh, classic. Do you find it hard, or are you so into it? Like, do you ever sort of like smell something or see something and have any sort of long forgotten pangs, or?
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely pangs. I'd still love the smell. Like if I'm, walking around the neighborhood and you can smell the barbecues, especially in summertime. I mean, but I quite like a lot. Like veggie sausages, they're pretty good these days, I think. But yeah, I mean, I miss the. If I could eat meat, I was watching this show. Have you heard of this show Upload? It's like a show set in 2033 or something.
Yeah.
And they like, they're just like 3D printing meals, and they 3D printed these beautiful looking steaks, and I'm like, let's get there. I just want if I can just print meat, I'm back in.
Sounds delicious. Sounds printed steak.
Yeah, doesn't that sound appetizing?
Yeah.
That looks really good.
That's a gag in the Peter Serafinowicz show, Printable Ham.
Yeah, right.
Good.
Great show. Great.
Thanks for giving us that annotation. Thank you.
That's a gag for him, but this could be a real game changer for the world.
Maybe that's where the show got the idea.
Yeah, probably was.
Maybe
you should see them. Stewart, Gemma is obviously a famous vegetarian.
Yeah, she is. Yeah,
world famous. How long has she been doing the do?
She hasn't eaten meat since she was about 13. I think most people tend to have or certainly it seemed in the early 1990s, most girls did a fortnight as a vegetarian, in my experience, and Gemma kept it up. So she's just turned 41, so she's been vegetarian for 28 years. To clarify though, Gemma does eat fish. Mm-hmm. So she's one of those kind of having a cake and eating it, or having a fish and eating it rather.
Pescatarian, isn't it?
They call it pescatarian.
Don't need to belittle your wife, mate.
Some crueler people call it fish and chipocrit, but
in about an hour's time, I'm going to become one of those people. Brilliant.
But I don't see it that way. I think if people, you got to draw. Everyone draws a line in a different place. I feel like if anyone, some people just cut out meat once a week, and if they think that's a positive thing, I think that's good. Whatever. There are some people on either side of it. Some big meat eaters will lay into vegetarians who eat fish, but also some vegetarians and vegans who go a bit hard. Either way, but I'm like, I reckon if anyone thinks they're doing something that's positive, making some change, even if it's incremental, and that's cool.
Yeah.
It feels stupid and sort of especially for people who are saying you should do more. It feels like it's like going to have the reverse effect, if anything. Yeah. And then I don't meat eaters. I've got some old schoolmates who are obsessed with it. They'll tag me on Facebook posts all the time about vegans or meat eaters or whatever, thinking it's very funny. But yeah, I don't know. Some meat eaters get obsessed with vegans for some reason. I'm not sure why it is, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as you'll know, Matt, how do you know if someone's a vegan?
Don't worry.
They'll bloody tell you, mate. They'll bloody tell you. Yeah. I remember, talking about Stewart, sorry to shorten the name there, like we're old mates, but you were saying back in the day it was pretty common for women to have a brief stint as vegetarian. I remember that as well, friends and but yeah, there was in the 90s. It was, for some reason, it was almost associated, or at least where I was, it was associated with women more than men being vegetarian. I remember a mate of mine at school, when he offered me a sausage roll or something. I said, "Oh, I'm not eating meat anymore," and he was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I didn't realize men could do that." It's a genuine, which is it's funny to think back to that, because it's pretty, like, these days it's quite common in vegetarian food, at least in supermarkets that I go to. There's plenty of veggie options, but yeah, I think it's changed pretty quickly.
Yeah, everything. The society moves on and understands, and there's obviously we're still a long way away from that becoming the norm by any means. But I think everyone's probably not maybe everyone, but a large majority of the society is now dabbled with vegetarian options and things like that, which actually brings me on somewhat to another point. obviously, I don't know what it's like over in Australia, but in the UK, we're seeing a lot of meat-free alternatives coming out, like faux meat that's like plant-based and is suggesting it's a sausage and tastes like a normal sausage, but isn't a sausage, so to speak, or certainly not a meaty sausage. Is that a big thing going on over in Australia as well?
Yeah, it's definitely. I think that as it becomes more popular, I guess money's to be made in it, so more products are coming out. Like our Hungry Jacks have got a pretty believable veggie burger now. What are the Burger King?
Yeah.
There was apparently when they tried to set up Burger King in Australia, there was a small restaurant called Burger King that didn't let them, so they had to go with Hungry Jacks, which is doesn't that seem like it's a pretty big departure? But anyway, yeah. So they've got one. I imagine there's a fair chance that they would have the same one over in the UK. It's called they call it the Rebel Burger, which I kind of hate, but I've had it a few times, and it is. If I didn't know better, I would assume it was beef. But it also has been a long time since I've tasted beef, so maybe my memory is a bit out of whack by now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've tried some of these things in the supermarket, and they're pretty good. I mean, some of them aren't perfect and whatever, but the burgers I've had I think the ones I've tried, if you have them without knowing that they were. I know this is obviously playing more into vegan than vegetarianism, but obviously for the purposes of this, it's pretty the same in terms of being meat-free. But I've had a couple, and honestly, if I was given it without knowing what it was, I think I probably would be fooled by it, I think.
Yeah, I think the burgers and sausages are maybe easier because they're hidden a bit in the grilled flavor. You get a bit of flavor off the grill and the bun and the sauce and all that sort of stuff. Whereas, a steak... I don't think they've done any believable steaks yet, have they? Or salami is the one that I'm really missing. I miss a hot Hungarian salami. That's if I had one guilt-free day of meat eating, that's probably the first I go to, which is maybe a bit of an odd one, but.
There's a really good steak product that's been available over here for about 6 months or so now. A company called Vivera that do a plant-based steak. Their steaks are the best I have found as a steak thing. I enjoyed. I'm assuming you have Quorn in Australia as a brand. Yeah. So Quorn
you see Quorn in the supermarkets.
They do a peppered steak product, which isn't like a steak, but is a really nice product to have, like in lieu of a steak, with a baked potato and a bit of salad or whatever. So it's a really tasty thing, but it isn't a steak. See, I am the ultimate hypocrite in terms of I eat an awful lot of meat-free meals with my wife not eating meat. I eat, and certainly this year I've been predominantly meat-free. I've eaten a bit more meat in lockdown, but I would say 90% of my meals are meat-free. So I get to have try all these alternatives, and when they don't quite meet the grade, I just go and get a massive ribeye steak and throw it on the barbecue.
Honestly, I think you've nailed it. That feels like the way. That's if everyone did that, that'd be perfect. Kind of. At times I'm like, why don't I just do that? I should have said I'm cutting down on meat. Why don't I go all in and then I'm stubborn and I don't go back? But I know I've got a guy. I haven't seen him in a while. It doesn't matter, but he basically went vegan, but on special occasions he'd get a real expensive, full corn-fed, whatever, hand-raised chicken or cow steak or whatever, and he'd just have them on Christmas and holidays and that sort of stuff. So 3 or 4 times a year, I'm like, oh, that's the perfect scenario. You can do a bit of both. I could go back, but I feel I probably don't miss it enough to make it worth it. And I'm also too stubborn, and I would hate all my old schoolmates who still ask me, are you still vegetarian? I'm like, I've been vegetarian for 20 years, more than half my life. When are you going to stop asking if it's a phase? So I can't then rock up somewhere and go, anyway, yeah, I'm eating meat occasionally again, because that, you just can't. Too much pride.
I mean, if you went out and ate some meat now, surely you'd get ill. That's what my wife always says.
Yeah, that's probably true as well. I imagine I probably wouldn't really enjoy it, to be honest, and my body wouldn't. My body probably wouldn't know what to do with it.
No.
So what did you do when you accidentally ordered stuff? Did you end up eating it then, or was it when it came? It was clear that it was meat, and you just.
Well, it depends on. So there's been. I remember a few different times. I remember one time. Yeah, one time when I was in France, and I thought I knew the word for vegetarian, but obviously my pronunciation was a bit off because she gave me a. Yeah, it was just meat basically. So that was pretty clear. Yeah, I said the exact opposite. I obviously went, could I please get one piece of meat? And then other times I've, I had a soup one time. I'm like, geez, this is salty. This is so salty. And then I found out it had bacon in it. And, so, I had a little bit before I started finding the bacon chunks. Like, oh, yeah, that'd be why. And yeah, so times like that. So I normally figure it out eventually.
Good. And that's the important thing.
But yeah, that is true. I imagine the flavour that I tasted there was way more heightened than it would have been otherwise. Because I remember that bacon soup just felt like I was eating, seawater. It was that salty, but probably to you guys it would just taste like a nice bacon soup, if that is even a thing. Jeez, it sounds kind of gross now. I'm saying, bacon soup.
Yeah, it does actually sound horrible.
Yeah, I'm vegetarian apart from the occasional bacon soup. Okay.
Boil up your bacon for 10 hours. Are you much of a cook? Do you have any particular meals that you nail on the vegetarian side?
I wouldn't be going up for MasterChef or anything, but I like making a pasta with a tomato based sort of sauce, olives and mushrooms and that sort of stuff. There used to be an ad when I was a kid on Aussie TV for mushrooms, just for mushrooms in general. Do you have those sort of industry ads? We have them like for bananas, for milk sometimes, and that sort of stuff. But yeah, and the catch line was mushrooms, meat for vegetarians. That feels like a stretch, right? A bit of a stretch.
Yeah, not feeling that.
No, but yeah, so I kidney beans is the thing I put in for protein and a lot of as a substitute in like sauces and that sort of stuff. I did a live stream with a proper chef for some thing a couple of weeks ago that the Melbourne team has set up this thing where they got comedians paired up with chefs, and we made that was probably easily. I forgot the word easily for a second. Yep. Easily the best meal I've ever made. But I was being taught step by step by a proper chef. It was like a rice and veggie clay pot with all these different kinds of mushrooms and stuff. It was so good.
Wow.
Nice. I'm gonna see if I can do it again without him instructing me bit by bit.
Just watch the video back.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hashtags, retweets, likes, comments, follows. This isn't any ordinary social media. This is Food Review UK social media. Come find us at facebook.com/Food Review UK, on Twitter @Food Review UK, and on Instagram @FRUKgram. Oh, and don't forget the main channel, Food Review UK on YouTube.
MJ, you obviously joked at the start of the segment about how you had nothing to add. I mean, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? You went through a vegetarian stage, was it this year? Or didn't you go for like a week or a couple of weeks where you were trying to be vegan or vegetarian? I can't remember which it was, but...
Yeah, that's right. Well, quite similar experience to Matt, really, how he watched Babe Pig in the City. Babe, that was the first one, I assume.
One, please, MJ.
Sorry. And then decided never to eat pig again. I saw the film Andre, and I've never eaten sea lion since then. Sorry, I know that's a bit of a mental reference. A little bit of trivia. I actually won a VHS of Andre. I think it was a competition in the Young Telegraph.
I remember the day I saw Andre for the first time, MJ. I saw it on the 25th of April, the year it came out. What would have been 94 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember I got home and there was a famous draw in the footy that afternoon, which became the 25th of April tradition. Isn't that wild? What a momentous occasion for me to remember the day I saw Andre.
That's remarkable.
The listeners, I mean, I don't think anyone expected to be referencing Andre on this show ever, let alone.
I would assume most listeners haven't even heard. I would assume most people haven't heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
No.
Imagine Free Willy, but less magnificent.
Locked up Willy.
Willy's dead. No, too much. Or can try another angle. No.
The joke's gone, mate. It's done.
Little joke for anyone paying particular attention there. I did a vegetarian week and I really struggled because I like sort of just, I don't know really. I envisioned it as being this healthier thing, but we just had a lot of stuff with cheese. Yeah, it wasn't very healthy, and I'm just basically not very good at making vegetarian food. When I have vegetarian food, I usually don't enjoy it, but I will say there's been a few meals where I've been like, this is vegetarian, and I absolutely don't miss the meat. And that is the one that springs to mind is Ramona's brand of products, which includes hummus and falafel. They are so tasty and so delicious that like literally most recently they sent out their wasabi dip to us, along with some falafel again, which they'd sent before. The falafel was really nice. Frozen falafel balls sort of just taste like onion bhajis kind of, but they're quite salty and quite densely packed, and they crisp up fairly well in the oven. So we tore them up. Then some of in this instance we had the wasabi dip, and then I did it with some lettuce and tomato in wraps, and that was flatbreads rather. That was really, really nice, and yeah, totally didn't miss the meat. So, but that's not mind-blowingly healthy because obviously the falafel's not particularly healthy, and the hummus isn't crazy healthy, and obviously the bread. So I think the thing that I struggle with vegetarianism is the actual healthy side of it. Like I don't really enjoy literally just a plate full of vegetables. So yeah, it's an unfortunate curse for me.
Which I've always assumed is what vegetarians eat, just a bowl of vegetables, just raw.
I think you still want to keep the same classic balance. I actually went to a dietitian earlier this year, and that's when I found out I was eating way too much pasta. But
really?
She said it's the same. Meat eaters or vegetarians want the same thing on their. As a general rule, your plate you want it to be 50% vegetables, 25% protein like meat or beans or whatever, cheese or whatever, and then just say 25. So a quarter protein, half vegetables, and a quarter carbs.
Oh,
Supposedly that's what the suggested balance is, at least in Australia. So yeah, your plate full of vegetables, but they did say that if of all the foods, the only one that you can eat as much of as you want of is vegetables. Everything else should be in moderation.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes
I didn't
sense.
want to hear that. I would love it that you can eat the max. I want to be able to eat a max amount of vegetables. You know, I don't want to have. I don't want to. You don't want to eat a plate full of vegetables and be like, well, you actually could have some more. I don't want any more. I just want to finish my daily dose of vegetables and move on.
Yeah, the 5 a day thing should be the absolute maximum.
Yeah,
I've never had a veggie stint like any of you. Obviously the occasional vegetarian dish. I do enjoy them, but I think I'm just very old school and just can't get out of the mindset of a meal isn't a meal without meat. It's not necessarily anything. I enjoy meat anyway, but my mum was the cook in our house and had a very old fashioned traditional menu of dishes that she would have prepared when I was a kid, and it would be very much meat, potato and veg, and that's not necessarily what we have now by any means, but equally it's just ingrained in me that meat must be in a dish to make it a proper dinner and stuff like that. But it's taken me a long while to sort of appreciate a meal that doesn't have that, and things like, I don't know, every now and again I've had like a vegetable curry, and good God, it's superb. Like that one we had from
Oh,
the Tom Kerridge place.
yeah.
Was genuinely the best curry I've ever had, and it was, I can't remember exactly what was in it now, but I know it was a vegetable curry, and it was absolutely sublime. But then again, he is a Michelin star chef, so I'm not so sure why I should be that surprised about it. But yeah, so it's
Yeah, well, I guess that's the thing. It's just about what it is and how it's cooked.
Mhm.
So, but it sounds like your mum nailed that quarter half thing with the potato, meat, and veg.
Yep.
That's probably what they based it on.
Everything was cooked in lard, probably though, so it was not particularly healthy. But yeah, absolutely.
I had a bad trot in England last year. I reckon I hardly had I think maybe 10-20% of the meals I had I enjoyed. Everywhere we went, we just had gross food. I don't know why it happened.
Really? Oh, no.
There's this awesome chain though that I had a few good meals at. This called, I think we had it up in Leeds. I don't know if it's a northern chain or what, but it was called Pie Minster or Pie Master or something.
Prime Minister, yeah.
Yeah, that was so good. They had great veggie pies there.
Yeah, Prime Minister pies are really good. Yeah, it is northern.
You had a terrible pizza while in the UK. Do you want to name and shame the company that served that to you?
Oh no, I think I had a couple of pretty ordinary ones. The best one I had was at the Hen and Chicken in Bristol. That was really nice. It's a comedy pub there. But the worst ones were all the other ones I had. But because I think of pizza as being a bit of a sure thing. But the worst one by far was at a hotel in London near the airport. So you'd assume it'd be pretty bad, but it was so gross. It had like a pool of oil in the middle.
Grim.
Honestly,
Yellow
pizza in this country is
oil,
generally
and everything.
speaking,
Everything was just slop.
Yeah.
awful.
What's
You're so close to Italy.
Oh, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Geographically close, culturally a million miles away.
Yeah. Out of interest on that, just a sort of a tangent, is the British menu much different to the Australian side of things? I imagine you've got a lot more sort of seafood over there, which is weird because we're obviously a very small island, so we should have lots of seafood. But would you say, like, when you have visited, there's been big cultural change and cultural difference in terms of the food?
I'd say the menus are probably. I mean, the places I was going to were mainly pubs and whatever. So I don't know what your high quality restaurant scene's like. I don't know what Melbourne's high quality restaurant scene's like either. Apparently it's good, but I never really get out there. But yeah, I'd say it'd be vaguely similar. It's pizzas and burgers and that sort of stuff, chips, which would be pretty. I think our pub scene's basically based on the English pub scene.
Right.
Although it is getting more influenced by the American stuff in recent years, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt a little bit like the food was an afterthought at some of these places. It wasn't all love had gone into them. Just sort of sloppy. Yeah. But that would have just been. Had a bad run of picking the wrong spots, I think.
Mm. There's nothing more depressing about our food than when you've just come back from somewhere like America, where or indeed any country where they nail the food. You go somewhere and it's just stunning food and delicious and full of flavour and good portions and everything. Then you come back to the UK and we obviously got some places that are decent, but generally speaking, there's a lot of places that are just bland and crap and just haven't nailed how to do that on a consistent basis across the board. So.
Correct.
Well, that's why Gordon Ramsay's out there yelling at people, isn't he? He's sort of going around the country yelling people to improve.
Yeah, every establishment.
And Jamie Oliver. You think you've got some famous chefs, but yeah, it is funny watching those. You watch one of those Gordon Ramsay shows. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but I've seen a couple episodes where he just goes to places in the kitchen. It's like what I'm describing. It's just real half-assed kitchen, And he's like,
Yep.
what the fuck is this? I don't care about it. And they make it better. And then he goes away. And then I think he goes back to how it was, I guess. But
I think
yeah.
I think that's the name of the show, isn't it? What the fuck is this?
Right, yeah, okay, so get the pan on, yeah, okay, and then, right, yeah, oh, you fucking it, yeah, so
That was a mildly good impression, MJ. Well done. That's all I've got on the vegetarian side of life. I'm conscious of Matt's time, so I'm going to hand over to MJ, who's going to whiz us through some social media.
Suck man, it's time for questions that you posted on all the platforms that you utilize to provoke our replies. Although increasingly I'll post in the forms of statements that require no response, as opposed to the questions we requested in our initial posts on the aforementioned Suck Man.
oh, I'm delighted to hear that, Nate.
Feel
Thank you.
feel free to whiz through this.
Yeah,
I
let's
like how
go.
excited Stewart was about it.
He knows our clientele.
Yeah, so a little context for you, Matt. Every week or every show, we put up a little social media post and invite comments from our listeners. And some of them are characters. Let's put it that way. And it's enjoyable.
Generally speaking, they're quite embracive of other cultures and societies as well. So I think an Australian
Oh, God.
vegetarian should be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So over on Facebook, there's only a couple, so let's whiz through them. Stewart
Hello.
Bullock says a lot of laughter. Can't wait.
Cool.
And
Did I say
Reed,
that? I don't remember saying that.
you did
Okay.
say that, yeah.
Carry on.
I then referenced Laura
Oh, yeah.
Villa Black.
Good times.
And then Reed Wilson says likes beer. Matt Stewart likes beer. Sorry.
Yeah.
He said Stewart likes beer. Matt Stewart likes beer.
Oh, Reed is in Australia. Oh, no, he's in New. Oh, it's the same thing, isn't it?
It's
He's
the
in New
same
Zealand.
one, isn't it?
Yeah,
really?
it's the same.
all the
South,
down
it's
there.
just South Australia, isn't it? New Zealand, yeah.
You pick up the globe and it's like that one there.
Actually,
They're the best of us, New Zealand.
Reed is essentially the reason that I started listening to Do Go On. He recommended it to
cool.
one of our mutual friends, who in turn recommended it on to me. So he's the reason I got into Do Go On in the first place. So
Oh,
Reed-
cheers, Reed. He's
Reed
the
will be-
reason I'm here.
yeah,
Well,
serendipity.
not
I like
the act- using
sorry
your-
to-
like,
it,
philosophically
What?
speaking.
MJ. I've just noticed that I don't know what you've got to hide in your background, because you're the only one using one of those fake Zoom backgrounds. Stuart's got
Oh,
like
no, it's just
what
fake.
looks
I've
like
got
about a
printed.
dozen guitars behind him. Nate's got trophies on a wall. What are you hiding back there?
There we go. Sofa.
No, put it all.
Let's get that off. Right, over on
For
Instagram.
listeners, it was a sex dungeon. It was no good. And
You wouldn't want to know what goes on here anyway. Sexually speaking,
We got it. We got it.
too much. Again, too far.
Oh,
Shelby
Jobbers.
says, what's the difference between a Geordie vegetarian and a Scouse vegetarian? Well, nothing, according to MJ.
Brilliant.
That is a reference to me essentially thinking that, oh, I didn't do it in the voice. So I heard Shelby post on, she posted a video on the FRUK Unwrapped and Fans Facebook page, and I mistakenly said that she was Scouse when she's a Geordie, right? Is that the joke?
Correct, yeah.
My iPad, all up there and that and whatnot. There you go. There's your Ant and Deck.
Oh, dear.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Luke
Lucas,
Says-
Cara.
Kara's. Another Scouser, Kara.
he says, there are northern vegetarians. I thought they all survived on a diet of greyhounds and spite.
Do you have spice in Australia?
spice.
Not as in the things that make your food flavours, as in the cheap synthetic cannabis substitute that ruins the underclasses.
No,
is that-
I
Over
don't
there.
think we
Oh.
do.
Cool. Oh, horrific stuff. It's yeah,
Nice.
spice. Yeah, look it up. Make lockdown pass a bit quicker.
We do have Newcastle brown ale though.
Oh yeah,
So
that's all
Same
that.
thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
is that the same? I'm in the right ballpark.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Up north.
That was one of the first beers I had that I found. Yeah, it was really exciting. When I turned 18, there wasn't much beer variety in Australia, and that was one of the ones that you'd see occasionally. And I was like, "Holy shit, what is this?" Loved it.
Good gateway.
Is that big over there?
Yeah.
I think so. I've not drunk Newcastle Brown for years. I used to drink it a lot when I was at college and stuff. Not 12, but maybe 16. And because it wasn't quite. It's a bit more palatable, I think, for the younger taste bud.
Oh,
It's quite a mild,
Right.
quite a mild beer. But I've not drank it for a long time.
Even I've
Yeah,
had a Newcastle
neither.
Brown.
But it got fond memories.
Yeah.
Shelby replied to that. What is it Southerners eat again? Dicks. And
Shelby's on good form lately. Well
yeah,
done, Shelby.
very, very strong. What is it Southerners eat again? Dicks.
What?
Nah. And then Luke replied, dicks and gin mainly. Pretty much true. The thing is, wherever you find a gin bar, you're going to find it packed with dicks. So, nah. Luke says, I try my hardest to be a smug vegetarian, but I worry that people will point out my hypocrisy due to me not being full-on vegan. Any advice? Veganism is not an option, as I like cheese, eggs, and milk too much, and I don't really care about animals. God bless.
Just crack on, mate. I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
You do.
Luke's smug enough. Don't worry. He's fine.
Yo. Faces of MJ says Matt looks like Stewart.
I'm not. I mean, I don't think particularly we do anymore, but certainly if you look at those photos on the thumbnail,
Yeah.
almost.
I'll take that as a great compliment.
I
Thanks
had
so much. Who was that? Who said that? Very flattering.
It's a page called Faces of MJ. It's
Thanks, Faces of MJ. You sweethearts.
That bloody Joe Carter.
Joe.
Do you think eating meat will one day be a thing of the past, say in 100 years?
It is for Matt.
I think the print. You know,
If he orders a bacon soup.
surely the printable or the Star Trek replicator kind of thing. That doesn't seem like it's impossible. It seems like it's possible
I
now.
think synthetic meat, is it? Meat being grown from, in a
Silent green.
Soylent
right.
Green.
Yeah.
It feels like that it's definitely possible because you reckon the population keeps growing and there's less room for. It just depends on how everything goes down. If global warming turns out to be a hoax, maybe not. But if it's real, then I think they're probably gonna have to start thinking about something like that. I wonder if it'll ever go that way. I imagine it'll end up being just for rich people.
Yeah.
If synthetic meat did become widely available, cheap, and whatever, would you eat it, Matt, or do you feel like, or why wouldn't you if you wouldn't?
Yeah, I don't know. My instinct would say yes, I would eat it, but I'd probably have to read up on it a little bit more before I fully. But it sounds like in my head that sounds like the best of both worlds. But
Yeah.
It's not as far fetched as it seems, because we've talked about it on many moons ago on this podcast that there's supposedly a 3D printer out there that is producing pizza, which was originally intended for NASA, but I think that it's been commercialized, and I don't know if it's actually been rolled out, but there was talk of it being used at sporting and concert venues. So if you can 3D a pizza, and suggestions was it was relatively tasty. I don't know how authentic it would have tasted, but maybe better than the one you had in the UK, Matt.
That's the thing with it all. I would love to jump 10 years ahead and rather be the guinea pig when all these foods are kind of probably still at the gross experimental stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do. I think all that stuff is coming on. But yeah, who knows? It's just I imagine you always look like when you predict what happens in the future. But I'm going to do that now. 100% meat will all be gone. Cows will be able to vote. It's just going to be a different world.
The problematic thing is if we stop eating meat, I'm just going to have to find another way to kill animals. I just don't know what the choice will be. Like,
yeah, I mean, one would assume it would be the natural evolution of cow tipping, wouldn't it?
Reckless driving, just aim for them in the car. I think that's the best way. Yeah.
Yes. And the car.
I wonder, but if we're not eating meat so much anymore, does that mean that where do cows go? They'd stop breeding.
Where do cows go?
That's the thing,
exactly.
isn't it? The only reason that cows
they end up
exist,
in the zoo.
Yeah, there's no wild cows, are there? Cows are purely at this stage farmed animals. So that's one of the arguments that meat eaters throw out, isn't it? The one of the moral arguments against vegetarianism is this: well, we've made our bed, so now we have to lie in it because we have developed. So what we're going to do? Should we just kill all the cows then? Surely, as a vegetarian, you can't be telling me you want us to kill all the cows. Yeah. But that's
one of the problems.
No need for it.
Tell me that, Matt.
Yeah,
I
don't know if you're killing them. Yeah, well, I mean, you've got Nate, who's probably going to put his hand up there, but maybe they don't kill them all, but they
let them free.
Maybe, yeah, or maybe they just stop breeding them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I
mean, cows would still. I mean, depends on. This is obviously going into veganism more than vegetarianism, because obviously, in theory, we'd still need cows for milk, unless we're getting rid of that altogether.
So I'll tell you what.
Chickens for
3D
eggs.
printing meat, you probably could figure out milk too, right? I feel like a lot of the milk alternatives, you don't think so?
No, scientists have already confirmed milk cannot be 3D printed. They've said that that's the line this technology is drawn at.
I am going to vow right here and now, so I can be held accountable to this. I am going to write, direct, and produce, and maybe I'll have some cameos in a long-running, highly critically acclaimed drama series. Which looks, say, 25 to 85 years into the future, and is going to be centered around the political, economical, and sociological challenges that surround the world moving to a meat consumption-free place. And it is going to look at issues like what do we do with all the animals, the science, and all this. And yeah, it's going to be great. I just need to map it all out and plan it, and I've only just decided to do that. And I'm I've never done a TV show before, not yet anyway.
That was a weird
produced.
That was a weird bit. Maybe Matt can help you because
this is going to be great.
Studio.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I think this could be big. This could be real big.
I'm serious.
Would Stupid Old Studios fancy a bit of that, Matt?
Yeah, if MJ can organise the funding, we'll do.
Yeah,
involved for sure.
It's actually going to be a new genre as well. It's going to be something called Ri-Fi. So it's like science fiction, so sci-fi, but Ri because it's real. So Ri-Fi or Re-Fi.
Wow.
We'll work out the pronunciation.
That's so good.
Thank you. Bonglang.
Bongers.
Sorry, just to clarify, isn't it not just fiction then? If it's fiction but real,
it's not fiction. It's non-fiction.
I suppose it's okay. Maybe I would be a new genre called like science fiction then, because it would be based on science.
No hyphen. There's no hyphen. You just get rid of the hyphen.
No. There's science fiction.
Fictional science.
No, that's
Phi-Sci. There we go. Phi-Sci.
That doesn't work. That's stupid.
Bongers.
Jason.
I don't want to be healthy. I want to be wealthy.
Good.
He also says again, last time I had a fruit or veg is when I sipped this cheap £1 cider every day, and last veg was like some dinner sweet corn like 2 months ago. You lead a healthy life. Stewart.
Bong Lungs is one of our resident commenters who loves two things, FRUK Unwrapped and marijuana. Carry on.
Stewart, was you drinking a lot at 2Q years of Nickelback? Because I just love getting a few cans every day. Shit makes me so happy. Plus my mum and dad keep moaning, oh Jason, you're drinking your life away. But I'm 21 and just like you. They was on acid in their 20s. Sick of it, bro. Let me sip this cold drink.
I think that was directed at me, but I've got an idea how to respond. I'm just going to say yes.
I'm not sure how the question could be constructed. He also says, at 21 years old, don't you dare misread my comment, bonglungs, and they speak perfect English. Maddie Madworld.
Madders.
Fair play to veggies, but I couldn't. MJ Roasties. Yeah, good shout out.
In order to grow the Food Review UK podcast, we'd like to ask all our listeners and subscribers to drop us a review on their chosen podcast application. With your help, we could grow the podcast to such an extent that we had no need for the Food Review UK YouTube channel and its owner, Michael Jameson. There is a little favour that we'd like to ask of you. Just head on over to iTunes and leave us a positive review. 1,000 5-star reviews and MJ dies! Hurrah!
Luke looks back again. Not really a question, but I found that going vegetarian for a short period of time is a great way to start a new diet. It breaks any existing food habits and gets you to actually think about what you're eating.
Fair point.
Nice. Good to hear some healthy changes in your life, mate.
Yeah.
Back to bonglungs.
Jason.
One more comment after this, and I will bid you a good night, me Julie. The Iceland lollipops, so although they didn't pay me and Mr. Jameson like they clearly paid a few pages, dead lollies rather suck on some nips or eat the original sweets. Basically, to translate it, it sounds like Jason bought the Iceland Barrett ice lollies and didn't enjoy them, which I'm very surprised at. I thought they were 5 stars across the board. I thought they were all really strong products. Actually, I'm not sure if I gave all of them 5, but they're all brilliant.
Did you ever think you'd be doing this on a Saturday night, Matt?
I've been dropping out occasionally, and then I keep coming back in, and I'm lost.
Yeah.
Nearly everyone who's written in, I want to comment, but I'm not following. But I'm loving it.
Amelia Hills.
Hills.
Do you make any dishes where the vegetarian version is better than the meat one? Also, my sister is pescatarian, and I asked her, why do you eat fish but not other meat? And her reply was, fish don't have feelings, but pigs, cows, and chickens do. She proper cracked me up.
I think that's the generally accepted moral standpoint, isn't it, with pescatarianism? Fish don't make noise, so...
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's scientifically
I think it's a
proven,
myth, but it's also I think it was popularized in what I assume an ironic line in a Nirvana song, isn't it? It's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings. Something's in the way.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm pretty sure fish have some sort of feelings.
Yeah, I like to say I don't think there's scientifically proven.
I think it's purely down to they don't make noise though. That's all it is. Fish don't make noise, so when you kill them, there's no the noise that an animal makes when it dies. This would be nice. This is evocative for you, Nathan.
No, I thought you were going to say this would be a story point I would pick up in the show.
No, well, you could do, but it's the noise that an animal makes when it dies is surely the thing that makes the whole thing unpleasant. The squeal of death.
Yeah.
And you know, in my experience, and I've killed many fish. None of them have squealed when I've killed them.
Yeah,
that's
the reason they're safe under my control. I won't kill fish.
It harder. The more that an animal looks like them, I think the harder it is.
Yeah,
probably. So it's harder to kill a chimpanzee than it is to kill a cow, but it's harder to kill a cow than it is to kill a fish. Maybe that's a theory.
I found it quite easy to kill a chimpanzee. No, that's too far. Too dark.
You've never killed a shaved bear, though, have you, Nathan?
I'd find it impossible to tread on a toad or something. Luke replied to that one. I found that Beyond Burgers are better than most meat ones. Tesco Plant Chef ones are also good, but they're a bit mushy before they're cooked, so check the packets to make sure they've not moved around into a weird shape. Always check the packets to make sure they've not moved around into a weird shape.
Good skills.
The Geordie Lion.
Jorders.
F you vegetarians, unless allergic to meat, then eat it. Right. Well, there we go. There's some of the nice embracive.
We're covering all sides of the argument here. I think that's the journalistic way to look at this.
That's an important angle to cover. You've got to let everyone have a voice, and especially when the points are as well rounded as that one.
I do. I like it. I like it when people are upset about something that in no way affects them. But
Yeah.
I love that kind of passion all the same.
Yeah, we had it here. Greg's, your favorite Greg's in the UK.
Greg's.
They
What a
released.
They've got to get down here to Australia.
They
Greg's to Australia. Get that hashtag in.
Okay, get Greg to Australia. They released a vegan sausage roll, which did not take away from the normal pork sausage roll. They both were available. You didn't have to order it. They weren't trying to sneak it into your food. And the amount of people that were just going off on one about how disgusting it was. It's just, what?
Yeah,
Why?
but we get a lot
As a
of
business,
comments on
they're
our-
just trying to make more money. They're opening it up to more customers, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Same thing happened in Australia with 4 and 20 pies. They launched a veggie meat, not a veggie meat, a veggie pie, and that similarly offended a few snowflake meat eaters, unfortunately. But you know what meat eaters like? They're all snowflake cucks. You know it.
I can understand if you were taking away the meat option, at least.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that would totally make sense. Then you could, if they're taking away the thing you want, it is funny to be like, I don't want that to be anywhere near what I'm eating. If it's on the same shelf, yeah.
It's contaminating my meat.
Whereas I'm the opposite. I'm like, get my veggie stuff near that meat. Maybe a little flavour will cross over.
Osmosis.
We had a lot of comments on our video saying, I don't know why I did that voice. It's good to see someone actually enjoyed it, like, and not lying about it being horrible. Because it tastes so similar. Honestly, if you ate it and you're like, I fucking hate this isn't meat, you fall in.
Exactly. Most people that hated the idea of it hadn't even had the decency to try it to actually say whether it was something hateable.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I've got someone at work who I tried talking to about it, and because it's plant-based, she won't eat it because she has in her mind that plant-based means it's got like loads of like leaves hanging out of it, and she's just basically chewing on a hedge.
Honestly,
or something.
I don't like eating bark. You know,
Yeah.
The bark,
It's a bit dry. It's a bit dry.
woody.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I could bring these comments full circle with the last comment here, but unfortunately I can only get halfway there with a comment from Liam T 180.
180 years.
Yeah.
And he says, yay, I'm a veggie, woo. I do need to say one thing, actually. Thank you for all your likes on the image, because it's been liked by, on my screen it says, liked by Bong Lungs and 33 others. Now, I have a mild gambling addiction, and in the last 24 hours, I've seen the number 33 a number of times, and sort of subconsciously, I'd said to myself, if I see the number 33 within the next several hours, I'm going to gamble today. So I just load up Sky Bet, and that's what I'll be doing after the show. Thanks very much, guys.
It's lovely that you've seen past the fact that it's actually 34 people that have liked it.
Yeah, but if it was, I would see the number 34 and it would have no relevance. With this specifically, the composition is Bong Lungs and 33 others, so the number 33 is okay. There, and it is the visual trigger that does cause my
okay. Yeah. Right. Let's whiz through this last thing, because I know Matt needs to go.
I told you, MJ, 3 is the number. 33. What is it? But 2 3s.
Yeah, it's 2 times 3. There you go.
And you picked 3. And you picked 3 twice, Matt. You picked 3 both times. Yeah. So
yeah. So load up tonight, MJ. How bad is this problem? Don't put the house on it, but just have a. Last time I bet on a horse in a horse race, it died. I took that as a sign.
And also, if you look at the zeros in the year 2020 and round them up, let's just assume they're 0.5s and round them up, and then add all of those numbers together, it's pretty much 33.
Yeah.
That's
well done.
That's brilliant. Stewart, game.
Correct.
It's time to play a game. Let's play a game. It's called Sweeter or Savory. We pull the name of a food stuff out of a hat. You tell us what you think about that. Will the next food stuff be sweeter or savory? Will it be sugary or covered in salt? There's just no way to know. But you must predict. Will the next food stuff be sweeter or savory?
Hit the gas.
Right, Matt. We're going to play a game, and this game is called Sweeter or Savoury. It's very, very easy. I tell you the name of a food. You guess whether the next food out of the Northern Flat Cap will be a sweeter food or a savourier food. It's very simple.
This game I understand.
Yeah,
Pick a random number first.
Play your cards right. Here we go.
Give
So,
all the answers in pun form.
the first food out of the Northern Flat Cap, it's the original Oreo, which is a sweet food, but with a not a savouriness to it, but with a kind of neutral biscuit, but with a sweet cream. So will the next food, this is the fourth time that food has been out of that, will the next food be a sweeter or a savourier food stuff?
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like something I learnt, which I thought was surprising, is that the Oreos are vegan. You know that?
Yeah.
The cream is non-dairy, apparently.
Yeah. Got palm oil in it, though, so it's in roundabouts.
Oh, orangutans die from the making of it. But cows' teats are not touched. So I'm going to go with savourier.
Savourier than an Oreo. We have got broccoli for a vegetarian. Here it is. It's the third time out of that. And broccoli,
full of iron.
Yeah,
Great source of iron, broccoli.
Very much so. It's one of the few kind of classic veggies that I find reasonably palatable. You know, I'll take some plate.
Carrot and broccoli are my two heroes of the old school, I reckon.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They still work. You know, they've not been suppressed by all these new vegetables like, you know, your celeriacs and your aubergines.
Yeah.
Will the next food stuff be sweeter or savourier than broccoli?
Is this still me?
Yeah.
It's gotta be. It'd be hard. I mean, yeah, it's got to be sweeter.
Sweeter than broccoli. What have we got? We've got a drifter. Do you have the drifter?
Yeah. No. Well, like people
it's
don't have
caramel. It's a chocolate-covered caramel wafer. Two fingers.
Oh, that sounds great.
It's an average chocolate bar at best. It's a 6
No, it's very good. The uniqueness is in the thinness of the wafers with that one.
Average.
Oh, I love a thin wafer. Sure.
Yeah.
Sweeter or savourier than a drifter?
Oh, that sounds pretty sweet. I'm gonna have to go savourier.
Savourier than a drifter. We've got a chocolate digestive.
Ooh.
Marginally.
It doesn't have the caramel.
Savoury.
Oh, I'm not sure if we're talking about comparing sweet things. I'm not sure I'd say it's marginally. I'd say it's fairly firmly.
For savourier than a drifter, yeah?
Certainly.
Yeah.
It's savoury because
No caramel in there.
Yeah, it's I'm
it's a
guessing
little bit salty as well, which these guys
chocolate
don't really know the name of.
Move on.
Basically, these guys don't understand what savoury means, but I've got your back.
Thank you so much.
Sweeter.
All right, so
chocolate
I think
digestive.
I'm going to say savourier.
We've
Safe
got.
choice.
Oh, here we go. First time out of the hat, we've got Chinese chicken curry.
Oh wow!
Savoury with a
Welcome
bit of
to the
sweet.
game, Chinese chicken curry. It's good to have you involved. First time. Beautiful debut.
We've been playing this game for like 3 years, and Chinese chicken curry's never been out of the hat before.
Wait, sorry. What? And it's been in there.
It went in there early doors. Nathan put it in.
Wow, that is That is insane. Do we have any others that haven't debuted?
Possibly. I don't know.
So that's a probably a sweeter savoury option, isn't it?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I think katsu
Yeah.
flavour, I suppose.
Well, I think I've gone the safe bet each time so far, but this time I'm gonna roll the dice and go savourier.
Savourier.
I like it. I like it.
Curry. We have got
Gambling man.
we've got flaming hot monster munch.
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Do we
I don't know what's that.
So it's
That sounds intense.
It's a chili a corn snack shaped like a monster's foot. Excellent product.
Or like a monster, if you believe the internet theory. But carry on. We'll
Okay.
discuss that another time.
Right. Sweeter or savourier than flaming hot monster munch? It's
Sort of sweet chili flavoured, isn't it?
yeah, savoury, but with a sweetness to it.
MJ, I tell you what, if you were going to gamble, you should have been gambling on me. I'm on a heater here.
This the best anyone's played this game for about 18 months.
What is your favourite number out of interest? What is your favourite number out of interest between 0 and 36?
I love it when MJ stops concentrating on the podcast and just starts playing internet roulette.
Yes. No.
It's got to be 23. Let it roll.
Oh, that is actually one of my top 5 lucky ones as well.
Take the corner there. Take the corner with 24 and
done. It's happening.
I'm an enabler. All right, I'm gonna say sweeter.
Sweeter than Flaming Hot Monster Munch. We have got McDonald's fries. I think we're dead.
Yeah, nah, corn's
very salty,
very
savoury.
I flew too close to the sun there. You know. I started to believe I was untouchable.
That is 7, which in any culture is a lucky number, which is yet another sign that MJ should gamble quite heavily today. Like really.
Get 7 involved in your next roll there, MJ.
Well, the interesting thing is, this is not a joke. 7 is actually my least favourite number.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever thought of my least favourite number, but that's a ponderer.
Honestly,
there's
I genuinely
an infinite amount of numbers as well. So
yeah, exactly.
You've got to have an opinion on every possible number.
Rank them. Rank all the numbers.
I genuinely will at least not that now. Obviously,
no,
idiotic.
all of them.
I will rank the roulette numbers.
Anyone who says that 7 is their least favourite number is just trying to be a hipster edgelord.
Edgy,
No, not true.
Like, 7's everyone's lucky number. Not me. I
won't believe this. I actually quite like 13.
Well, says the man who's got the number 13 tattooed on his body several times.
Several.
7 is so. Honestly, I grimace when it comes up on roulette. I'm like, typical.
So basic.
Well done, Matt. For 7, that is although it might not seem like a particularly high number, in terms of our game for the last 18 months or so, it has been quite considerably better than average. Average is probably about 3.
Yeah.
If that. So that is more than double 3 if you want to use that. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm sorry it's been a surreal journey through British people's culture and food and MJ's mind. But it has it's meant a lot for you to come on the show, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's lived up to expectations. And good luck with the podcast. Good luck with Do Go On and all the various spin-offs.
Thank you so much, Nate. Thanks so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to hang out.
You're welcome.
I've learned a lot.
Anytime.
Monster feet. And the drifter. I'm going to look up the drifter next time I'm over in the UK.
Please do.
Is it still around?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You can find it. You can find them. Just on a tangent, I watched the new web series yesterday, and it was thoroughly bloody enjoyable.
Great! Thanks for tuning in.
Looking forward to seeing more of those.
I'd like to say, actually, I intend to watch that. I didn't actually manage to watch it last night in the end, but I did watch a few of your bits, specifically the They'll Tell You vegetarian bit and also the Cocoa bit. And yeah, really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, nice work, and I will be checking out more of your stuff for sure.
Oh, thanks, MJ. Thanks for having me. I really do appreciate it. And you've got the whole day ahead of you. You know?
Yep.
Stu, I got you out of bed. Sorry, Stewart. I got you out of bed, and now you've got all of, what is it, Saturday over there now? Saturday morning?
I've got
all the Saturday ahead of you.
Got actual plans today. We're hoping to pick up a huge sushi feast today.
Oh, nice.
We're hoping to pick up a huge sushi feast and combine that with socially distantly dropping off my niece's birthday presents.
Oh, lovely.
So it's actually some...
Which is sushi.
Which is sushi, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to leave the house today, which is interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah, good times.
Good times. Heard it here first. Stuart, MJ, thank you as ever for joining me and
good work.
Matt and everyone. And thank you very much at home for listening. Please do go check out Do Go On, Primates, Listen Now, Book Cheat,
YouTube channel,
Stupid Old Channel, Anything else that Matt's involved in, please go and check it out because they are riotously funny. And I will be speaking to you again in a couple of weeks' time, I guess. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We hope that you enjoyed the reference to the film Andre, available on streaming services nationwide and internationally.